open so we can.
Okay. All right, there we go. So, good day, everyone. Reuben is here again, and like I promised the last time, I'm gonna bring an expert on Area 4. And that is exactly what I'm doing. So, Sam, do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Sam, and I don't know about expert. That's a big term to live up to, but I'm becoming more familiar with Area 4, and thank you, Reuben, for bringing me in on your cool project and allowing me to speak and hopefully provide some clarity to some of these questions.
All right. So basically what I would do is to read the question and read the options, then give an answer. So I don't know how you want to do it.
That sounds fine. Read the question, and do you want to do one by one as to why, or just do correct answer at the beginning?
I think you can do one by one as to why, but you know, there are some obvious questions that everyone should know, I guess, by now. So you may not want to go over those kind of questions and all that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, can you see the screen clearly? Should I increase the font?
No, that's actually perfect.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's begin.
All right. So looking at the first question, it says data analysis methods should be specified during the blank stage. So looking at assessment, planning, implementation, or evaluation. So data analysis methods is how you will take the data that you've already collected and how are you going to analyze them, whether that be using statistical programs or documenting, like we'll say, like verbal recorded interviews. So what methods will you be using and when should that be done? So if you're looking at assessment, planning, implementation, and evaluation, I feel your data analysis methods is something that should be done and thought of probably during the planning stage. I'm assuming that's correct, the correct answer. Reuben didn't give me the answers to any of these guys, so I'm kind of just going with my gut.
Hope so. And you know, the funniest part is this: the mistake I made when I answered this question was because I thought, oh, this section is area 4. The answer should be evaluation.
Okay.
So I think that's another problem with identifying the area too. So just because you can identify the area doesn't necessarily mean the answer belongs to that area of competency.
True. Probably one of the harder things about studying like area by area and has you just like laser focused. But remember, we're looking at broad picture. Right. So yeah, this should be done in your planning stage. And that's more so because by the time you've had your data analysis methods chosen, you already know how you're going to collect the data. And again, this is all in planning your data collection process and then your data evaluation. So planning is where you would get this done.
Okay, sounds good.
Second question. The agency administrator wants the big picture or summary of an intervention's resources, activities, and results. Therefore, the health education specialist creates which of the following to put in their report to the administrator. So you have marketing mix, logic model, instructional design framework, and unit of study. So if you're looking at what the administrator is asking for, he wants resources, the activities, and the results. So just those three terms, it looks like He wants mostly everything from start to finish. He wants what resources you're putting in, what activities you're doing, and he wants the outcome. So he wants results. So looking at the answer choices, which one encompasses all of those to where you could put into a report. So marketing mix could maybe go for like your planning and communication stage, but it's not going to have very many results. So maybe not marketing mix. We're looking at the logic model. If we remember, logic model kind of has all of these. I'll put that in the back of my mind. Instructional design framework. Again, the framework will give you instructions of how you're doing it. So I think more of that as like your activities. But again, it's not really giving you the results part. It gives you the instruction framework, but not necessarily your results at the end. Unit of study. I don't believe I'm familiar with unit of study. Are you, Reuben? When I think unit of study, I think like a singular, I don't even know what they know, like unit.
Right. So the unit of study is like the unit of analysis. What is the focus of the whole intervention program? Is it a school? Is it a person? Is it, whatever you're measuring, whatever the intervention is based on? So that's the unit of study or analysis.
Okay. So that seems, again, only one specific thing. At least for me, I think the correct answer is logic model. Again,
Right.
Ruben did not share
Right.
these answers. This is me just thinking out loud as I go.
Yeah, I think so too, because the question is basically asking you, how would you put these things together and how would it be evaluated? So the question is literally asking you, which model here allows you to evaluate? And of course, I think that's also logic model. So.
All right. So question 3. An instrument that is used to measure what it proposes? Is that supposed to be proposes?
What I think that word is also right. What it purports. Yeah.
What it purports to measure is said to be blank. Well, an instrument that repeatedly produces the same results is said to be blank. So looking at this, you have reliable and valid, valid and reliable, relevant and dependable, dependable and relevant. So you have a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4 different vocabulary words that you would think would mean the same thing, but not necessarily. So when you think of the term reliable, I think of like the word, I don't want to say consistent, but I feel like there's a better word. Like when something's reliable, it means it's like
Dependable.
almost, yeah. I want to say dependable, but dependable is also different. We'll come back to that. So valid, of course, is giving you like correct, substantial. And then if you're looking at relevant, it's just relevance to like the topic, like how is something connected with this. So an instrument to measure what it purports to measure, which I'm assuming what it's supposed to measure, is said to be, I wouldn't say C because it's not necessarily relevant. It's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. I wouldn't even go as far to say valid either. So it's either A or D. But if we look at the second part, while an instrument that repeatedly produces the same results is said to be, so if you do something if you get something and it's the same results over and over, it kind of gives validity, I would say. So my answer would be A. Ruben's going to tell me if I am correct or not.
Your answer is A?
Believe so.
Believe so. Interesting. This is an interesting pick.
It's like it's a hard one because I think I think the first part is perplexing me. The second part is when I think of an instrument that repeatedly produces the same,
Okay.
I guess it's not necessarily valid because if it gives you the same result, I don't know if it necessarily means it's the correct one.
Hmm.
Uh,
Interesting.
So
Uh,
I'm
I
like, yeah,
okay, so I think I probably want to go with another answer.
go for it.
So let me see. Where is it? It says, why can't I see? Oh,
Even Ruben doesn't have the answers on here.
right. So it says when an instrument does what it's supposed to do, uh, we are talking about it has fidelity. That is the word.
Okay.
It has fidelity. All right. So this is what it set out to do, and it did that. Okay. I think that is what we term as validity. Now, if it goes on to every time it's being used for another intervention, it produces the same result, then it is reliable.
Mm.
All right. So because I think for me, dependable is even correct, but this is the problem. Dependable is not a data collection term.
Technically, no, I believe it's in the definition of one of the terms.
Right.
Look up like reliable, it says like dependable in the definition. So that's something to keep in mind when you're taking the exam.
Right.
What was
Right.
the actual vocabulary word used? I
Right.
believe it's reliable, and I believe like dependable is like in the
Right.
um,
So for me, I think if an instrument does what it's supposed to do, which is called fidelity, then it is valid, it is
mhm,
real. Then, of course, if you can continue to do it repeatedly, right,
mhm.
produces the same result over and over, dependable, reliable. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go with B.
I just had mine mixed up. I had the same two words, just in different places. All right.
Right, 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 right. And I think this is one thing I've tried to do too, while studying for this exam, is looking at the vocabularies carefully.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tricky. It's kind of,
Oh, it's very tricky.
yeah, it's kind of tricky. Okay, let's see.
Um. Okay. Four. Four, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Due to financial constraints, a research team is only recruiting participants from 3 hospitals in the local metropolitan area. In doing so, the researchers have established what? So you have limitations, delimitations, eliminations, or assumptions. So looking at the vocabulary, you can obviously see that it's either you have limitations and then delimitations, which kind of are the opposite of each other, and then eliminations and assumptions. So by only recruiting from 3 hospitals, I think the keyword here is only, in the metropolitan area, it seems like they've limited the amount of they've like limited the amount of hospitals that they are recruiting from.
Right.
However, when you think of so the difference between limitations and delimitations, if I remember this correctly from the book, the difference between those two is limitations are limits that are set that the researcher can't necessarily control, and delimitations was decisions made by the evaluators, the researchers. So because it says the research team is only recruiting them and the researchers have established, it looks like they're doing the limitations. So I would say the answer is B.
Okay. I think so too. I think it's B. So I think the major difference, like you said, is who is doing what. All
Mhm.
right. Who is in control of the situation? Is it the evaluator or the research team, or is it the outside, factors that can't control? So the limitations here. Think so too. Okay. 5.
5. The health education specialist is planning a training workshop for research data collectors. Of the following, which training piece is most important to decrease time and effort spent to clean and correct data after collection?
Hmm.
So here you're thinking about you're training the data collectors. And so how can you train them in such a way that when they collect the data, it's not so jumbled, I would assume. So looking at the options, you have data entry training at the same time. So you could teach them you could teach them how to collect the data as well as training them how to enter it correctly.
Right.
You can do a data collection pilot test where you train them and kind of do like a mock, almost like have them go and try and collect some data first before you like implement the whole program. You can do a workshop held in advance of data collection. Is planning a training workshop. So yeah, you could just have a workshop beforehand before they go out and do data collection. Or you can do one training format used. So that right off the bat.
It's a
Well, if you're
tricky
trying
question.
to decrease, I would say not D. Data collection pilot test workshop held well in advance of data collection. I think C wouldn't necessarily help with decreasing the amount of time you spent on data because holding a workshop held in advance of data collection, you kind of want to do that already. I guess you do kind of want a workshop. You can do a data collection pilot test or data entry training at the same time. I feel like all those sufficient, but for the sake of decreasing the time and effort spent to clean or correct the data.
It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one. I don't know if you necessarily want, I don't know. Do you want them doing data entry training at the same time? Probably not.
Interesting. I
Of
mean,
the following, which training piece is most important to decrease the time and effort spent to clean up the data after collection? So you want to train them, but I guess in just what capacity?
mhm. So the question is, what is pilot test? When you pilot test, what do you do?
When you pilot test, you send them out on like a dummy, like a dummy test, or you could have them just practice it. Like if they're collecting data about teachers' opinions in schools, you can have them just go to a school that you're not studying and practice asking teachers question and writing them down.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. You actually, if we're writing the exam right now, I think I will go with A.
Mm-hmm.
Because the question is saying you want to train them. It's a current situation. It's still a training phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still a workshop. It's not even being concluded to go into a pilot testing phase.
Yeah.
So when you have a pilot test, you've trained people already. You just want to know if what you've trained them
Is working.
is working, right? But in this scenario,
You're still planning.
you're still in the training. You've not even left the training phase. So I feel like for you to be able to reduce the time, eventually when they go on a pilot test, you probably want to give them the training at the same time you doing data collection. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah, because if you're still in the planning, you might as well just combine both trainings together.
Right,
Make it easier on yourself.
right, right. But you know, this pilot testing thing, it's pretty confusing sometimes.
I know, and I think that's another part of like the evaluation chapter. Again, I feel like because we're on chapter 4, we're like in the evaluation step already.
Right,
So
right, right.
hold on one sec. Sorry, just had to fix something on my computer. Okay, so next one. Which of the following survey tools would be best to use if the health education specialist has unlimited funds, wants to generate a high response rate, and wishes to keep selection biased low? Wow, if I had all the money in the world, you could do so many types of surveys, I feel like. I feel like you could do all of the surveys. Okay, so looking at your survey tools, face-to-face interview, telephone survey, mail survey, and online survey. Each of these already, has their pros and cons. Some of them are more
Right.
expensive than others. Some have a larger reach, some take more time. And it's can be pretty time consuming. Doesn't look like time is on here though, so. So if you want like a high response rate and you want to keep your selection bias low, let's see. I would definitely knock out the mail survey just because mail surveys, I feel like you don't get a high response rate off the back. And they're pretty cheap to do. So let's not do a mail survey. As far as online survey, I think it can. Why are you highlighting unlimited funds?
I feel like for me, I like to say, what is the most important part in this question? I really, yeah. Every time I'm looking at a question, I'm saying that to myself. What is the most important part in this question?
True. Do you think unlimited funds is the
I think so. I think it's
I think so. I would say like all three of those things. Selection bias as well as high response rate.
Okay.
I feel like everything after that. I don't know. That's just me. So looking at the other three, online survey, you are probably those aren't too hard to do. But again, your response rate may or may not be the greatest. However, if you're wishing to keep your selection bias low, there comes not a significant bias, but there is a bias when it comes to online surveys because you're only reaching those that are, I would say, technologically savvy. Not to say that people who aren't able to, it would just be harder. Same with like telephone surveys. Maybe you'll get a bigger response rate for that one. Selection bias, I mean, everyone has a phone these days. But if you have unlimited funds, I think face-to-face interviews might be the way to go on this one. Because if you have all the funds in the world, you could transport people from Timbuktu if you wanted. Just bring them over here. Just pay for their flights, transport people, give them incentives. You do it multiple times.
Right.
And you would get a high response rate because you'd be able to shuttle people back and forth. And you could do as many or question as many people as you want and select specific people if you wanted. So
True.
That's my answer.
Yeah, I think we're good on that, face to face. And you know why I said unlimited funds was the most important part for me? Because I asked myself, okay, which is the most expensive one to do?
Yeah, pretty
Face
much.
to face. So why give me unlimited funds? You're giving me because of the one that's most expensive. So yeah, so I just try to be like, okay, at this point, what is the key part in this question?
You're like, what's the most expensive thing that I could do?
Right, right. All right, let's see. Number 7.
Okay. Communication. Again, communication, I think chapter 6.
Right.
I was like, why are these in chapter 4?
Why do we have these questions here?
Okay. Communication between a prospective human subject and an investigator from beginning of a research study to the end refers to the what? I think this might be like a vocabulary question. Actually, no, I don't think so. But the communication from start to finish between your human subject and your investigator, what is it called? Is it the protocol review? Is it informed consent? Is it subject compensation or the Belmont report? I guess just looking at these, first thing that pops into my head is just like the informed consent.
Right. I think so too. I think so.
I'm trying to remember what Belmont report was though, just to teach some vocabulary.
Oh yeah. So I think the Belmont report is the report where you find justice, respect, and what is the third one?
Oh,
Justice, respect, and one other one.
not integrity. No.
I can't remember.
I remember reading it in the book. Hold on.
Yeah. So when you guys do the hierarchy consent thing, so those are the 3 principles, and you can only find them in the Belmont report.
Got it. Okay. All right. So 8. An advantage of adopting an instrument for data collection is that blank. So I had to read an advantage of adopting an instrument for data collection. So adopting means like you're not, you're taking it and it already exists. You're not creating your own, is what I'm getting for that. So A, its reliability and validity can be used. B, substantial changes can be made. C, it's similar to developing a new instrument. Not necessarily. D, permission for use is never necessary. I dislike the word never. Just because
I dislike the word
especially
never.
in exams, because that is a bold statement to be made. So I'm just crossing out D just right off the bat.
Right.
I'm also crossing out C because you're adopting it, it's not necessarily similar to developing a new instrument.
Right.
Substantial changes can be made. I think that's also true. Its reliability and validity can be used. I guess if you're adopting it and you're not making any changes, I guess that's true. Reliability and validity can be used because if it's been used in the past for studies and it's already valid, then I would say it.
So you go with A, right?
Yep.
All right. I think so too. I mean, the only reason you go ahead to adopt another instrument from another intervention
is because you're not going to change it.
Right. Okay. Question 9. We're making so much progress. Okay.
Okay, we're doing great. We're doing great. Let's speed it up. How many questions did you have? Guys, I didn't even ask Reuben how many questions he had.
I think I have about 25.
25? Oh, okay. We'll try and go through these a little bit faster, guys. I apologize. Okay. I thought it was like 15. No. A health education specialist is reading a meta-analysis of balanced interventions involving frail elderly. Although this analysis can assist in guiding their senior exercise programming decisions, the health education specialist must also be aware of its limitations, including Okay, so essentially what are the limitations of a meta-analysis? I feel like as researchers we know this. Non-spurious relationships, unique sample population, time-bound results, lack of uniformity of methodology. I would say not. I feel like they're all limitations. I would say D.
You said D?
Sure. Again, Ruben didn't give me the right answers because I'm thinking it's unique sample population. I feel like is just throwing me off. But I mean, if you're doing a meta-analysis on the elderly in general.
Interesting. The thing is, I actually don't have the answers.
You don't? How do you know if we've been correct for the past 8 questions?
Oh yeah, I know.
What do you what?
Trust me, I know.
You've gone through all of these already?
I think so. Probably, yeah.
Probably. I haven't seen any of these. Are these in your book or in the book we have?
It's in the book you have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, this one I'm blank. Like I have no idea. I'm blank. I'm blank.
It's either A or D.
It's a A or D?
I think.
Okay. So I think this is the one that I'll probably have to check for. Yeah, I absolutely don't. Okay.
Ruben, I don't think we have the same book.
Are you sure?
I think so, because I don't remember seeing these questions. At least not in the back of my book.
Are you guys sure we've not been reading different books?
Maybe we have been reading different books. Are you sure you have the right one? You have 8th edition, right?
Yeah, the one with the let me see. The one with the, what's it called? What is it called again? The one with it's ethics and professionalism, right? Does your book have ethics and professionalism?
Yeah, it has only 8 chapters.
Yeah, because the previous book didn't have that, so
I was like, I've gone through the questions. I don't think I've seen these. If I have, then wow, maybe I.
Okay.
Okay. Well, do you know what the correct answer is?
Okay, so I think I understand what is happening.
What is happening?
I understand. I think this first set of questions, they are CHES questions.
CHES?
Yes. You know what?
Oh, CHES, not NCHES.
No, CHES, not the NCHES, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Ruben, I've never seen these questions. But I guess that's a good thing because it's making me think about it.
Right, right. So let me see. You know, initially I told you I've seen these questions before, and that's because I've answered the CHES questions.
But not the NCHES questions.
I've answered both questions, actually.
Oh, okay. I was like...
Yeah, because, you know, I just told myself, if you are reading the same book, then we should be able to answer the same questions.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Let me see.
Well, what's the answer to this question?
I'm looking for it, but I believe this is an CHES question. So
I think all of them have been CHES.
Yeah, I think so. So let me see. We're looking at what we're looking at. Interesting. Okay.
What's the answer?
What's the question again? Something about
Health education meta-analysis.
health education meta-analysis. Okay, give me a minute.
Non-spurious relationships, unique sample population, time bound, and lack of uniformity.
Right. Okay, interesting. CHES, I still can see the question. This makes it so much fun. So where did this question come from?
You're the one.
Where did it come from?
All right. Well, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below.
Yeah, if you have an answer, let's know.
Okay? Answer. Let's go. I don't know. What do you think? I think when you're doing, I don't know, a meta-analysis, there's so many limitations, but I feel like the big one, it has to be like it's lack of uniformity, but it could also be
Okay. It could also be what? Which one?
I guess
The fact that I can't even find the question. Okay. Okay. I think it's an CHES question. Okay. I know that. I believe that so much. So
sure.
all I need to do is to.
Because the big thing with meta-analysis is like publication bias and screwed data. But that's
Okay. So, all right. So if you guys are watching this at home, all right, I'm gonna note this question number 9. Then I'm going to find the answer to the question. I'll let you know, Sam. I'll also post a comment under this video on YouTube. Then I will let us know the right one, okay?
guys, if you're watching this, I apologize.
The right one.
It has
All
no
right.
Ruben curated these. I thought he had all the answers, but no.
Okay, let's see.
We're going on to number 10.
Number 10.
Valid research designs allow valid conclusions to be drawn. Which type of validity is used to estimate the degree of cause and effect? So what type of validity do we have? External, primary, secondary, and internal. To estimate the degree of cause and effect. Why am I thinking so hard? It's not.
I think it's between internal and external. I'm giving you a clue.
I was like, why am I thinking about it way too hard? I don't know. I don't know if I'm familiar with, or why am I escaping the difference between internal and external? Internal validity and external validity. You got me.
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank.
The
Internal validity is within your study. External is outside your study. No.
Interesting.
That's all I can think of. What are the definitions of internal and external validity? I don't know why I can't think of it.
This is your area of expertise. Area number 4.
No, it is not. I prefaced that with the beginning.
This is your area of expertise. So.
No, it's not. These are also CHES questions, just to point that out.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
Nope. Yeah, you got me.
Interesting. Okay, so what do you think? Wild guess.
External, because it's cause and effect.
External.
Sure.
Actually, yes, it is external.
Hmm.
It is external on the flip side.
I just don't know why.
I think the last time I read about this, so you can use the external to the input doesn't give you the results. It only takes you through the process of doing it. However, the external validity allows you to see the outcome, evaluate the outcome, and see all the processes that went into it. So I believe that was the explanation in the book. That was the explanation in the book. But
I'm trying to find it in my book so I can bookmark it. You don't remember what page it was on, huh? I don't remember reading that.
Yeah, I know I saw it in the book. It's right there in the book. Okay. Actually, this question is a CHES question, actually. Fortunately, it is a CHES question.
Cool. I was gonna say this looks like
I think it's CHES question number 78. CHES question 78. Right? 78. And
nope.
It's not?
Nope. I have a hospital is expanding.
Oh yeah? Are you sure we guys don't have different books?
Saying, Reuben, I feel like we have different books.
Oh my goodness.
My book.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Does your book, does it have a CHES question at the back?
Yeah, it has Appendix D.
Yes.
CHES practice examination questions. There's 165 of them.
Right, which I also have.
Question 78 is not that.
I mean, CHES and CHES, not CHES.
Let's see. Now you're making me second guess everything I know.
Don't do that.
Maybe we do have the same book.
You found it?
Yeah.
Question 78?
Yeah.
Okay, is it the same?
Yeah, because there's CHES and CHES, so yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, do we not have the same?
We're on the same side. And I think if we actually have different books, that would be so cool, actually.
We wish, oh my God, we wish it was that nice.
That would be so cool. Actually, the answer is internal validity.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something we got to clarify.
Oh, it's internal?
Yeah, not even external. Internal. So, and you know, this is one of the reasons why I wanted someone else to come on for this particular part of the book. I think it's the most difficult, and it also requires a level of field expertise. It's
true.
Interesting. Interesting. So you see, the questions are from the book.
They are.
They're from the book. Come on.
Nice.
All right. So internal.
Internal is the answer.
All right. Quickly, number 11.
11. The health education specialist wants to compare course satisfaction levels of two different groups of smoking cessation participants. Of the following, which is the best quantitative data analysis technique to use? So you're comparing satisfaction rates of two different groups. So if you want some quantitative data, you can have weighted average, range percentage, cross tabulation.
Cross tabulation, right? Okay.
I feel like, yeah, not range or weighted average or percentage. What would percentage even give you?
Right. I think the question is even pretty much straightforward because basically said we are comparing two groups. So
You want to compare it with crosstabs?
yeah. So okay, question 12.
The health education specialist is conducting a research study using an online survey in which participants' names are linked to their data. Ooh, of the following, which is the best way to protect participant confidentiality? Have only research assistants analyze the data, store names separately from data, and replace with unique identifier. Use group login IDs to access the data? Probably not. Use untenable firewalls to protect the data. You probably store it separately and replace with the unique identifier.
Oh yeah. So you're conducting a research study and you want to use an online survey. Their names are linked to their data. What is the best way to protect their confidentiality, right?
Mhm.
All right. So we're going with B, right? I also
Yep.
think it's right. So
Mhm.
yeah, you have to store the names in
Store the
both.
name separately. Use identifiers.
Right. Okay. We're making so much progress now.
We are
13.
13 to determine the immediate effects of a health education program. The health education specialist should use which type of evaluation. So if you want to look at the immediate effects, impact process, formative outcome, probably impact.
Yep. Impact. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Question 14. Interesting.
During a health education program, questions about whether the participants like the instructional materials and if instructors found it easy to use are examples of which type of evaluation. So if you're evaluating the instruction materials and their use, it's part of the process.
Yep. Process. It's an ongoing event. So checking out for the process.
D is
right.
process.
So the questions look familiar right now, yeah?
Yeah. Not a process, D process.
Oh yeah, sorry, deep process.
You guys meant what he typed.
Okay, so
A health education specialist wishes to examine the outcome of an intervention. As such, which type of evaluation should be designed? So process impact, formative, or summative? Probably not process impact. Or I like that they use the word outcome.
yeah,
It's like outcome evaluation is
right.
technically a part, not process. Not formative. Why is summative throwing me on? What was summative evaluation?
Actually, summative is pretty much similar to formative, so it's a tricky one.
I was like, they're pretty much like the same.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. So what are you going with?
Impact?
You going with impact?
Just because I don't know, I feel like formative and summative are the same. So probably process elimination.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think this is a CHES question. So we want to examine the outcome of an intervention. So we are trying to look at the whole process, right? So it's not just we're trying to, what is the knowledge gain right now and all that. Knowledge gain, behavior change will be impact. Yeah.
The outcome of the intervention.
So if you're looking at the outcome, I'm not going to say C or D, actually.
But here's the question, what's the difference?
Yeah, here's the question, what's the difference? So
I'm trying to remember.
I know summative looks at the totality of the whole intervention, right? Let me see.
I think so. What's the answer? I can't remember this.
Actually, if this were to be the exam, I will probably go with formative, actually.
If this was for exam, then I would say formative, but that's me not knowing like what the difference is between formative and summative. That's good.
So let me see. Can you remember the question? Throw it to me.
The health education specialist wishes to examine the outcome of an intervention.
Okay. Of education specialist. Okay. Interesting.
You've been studying both, right? The CHES and the MCHES questions?
Yeah, I've been doing both. So the times I studied, for example, if I look at area 1 questions and this one, I go to the other parts to look at area 1 question too. So I've been trying to, yeah, I just feel like no matter how difficult it is. All right, so that question seems to be hiding from me at the moment.
Another one.
Another one, but I strongly want to think. All right, okay, I found it. Question number 48. Yeah, question number 48. So let me look what's happening right here. Okay, question 48. The answer is
summative.
Summative. D.
Wow.
Interesting. Man, this part is really the trickiest, honestly. Like,
just throwing all the curveballs at you, Reuben.
It's driving me so crazy.
You
like,
thought you knew and didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, I definitely didn't know this one.
Yeah, and I thought I did. If this was the exam, I'll probably just go ahead and go with. Yeah.
I'm also, for the sake of our viewers, I'm trying to find like a good definition in the book, but
yeah, I think it's right in the book actually. Right.
Which I can't seem to find at the moment.
Which
something else we'll have to put in the.
Right.
Okay. Continuing on.
You found it?
No.
No, yes.
I'm trying, because it's like if I rewatch these videos, then a good place to go would be back to where we found these dang definitions, but
okay. Yeah. So if I think if anyone has this book that we are using, I don't know. I don't have pages on mine, but I definitely know where it is. So yeah. Okay, so I guess these are some of the things that we have to probably post in the comment section. Right, for people to see. So let's move on.
Moving on.
We've been holding some ransom for like 1 hour now.
Already? Oh my gosh. Time goes by fast when you're studying.
So maybe.
Props to everyone who's made it this far too, if you've been watching for an hour.
I know.
But yeah.
All right.
Okay. The health education specialist wants to test some new questions and use a different program evaluation survey delivery method. To do so, which of the following would be implemented first? Pilot test, pre-test, post-test, or a poll? Definitely not post. I would pre-test. Pilot test means like you're implementing it, right? Like pre-test.
Right.
You gotta do a pre-test.
Mo busy Mombo. Sheba. Okay, so what's your answer?
Pre-test.
Pre-test, right? Okay, so obviously pilot test, you're not doing two separate things. You're not having a separate question and using a different evaluation. It's always the same. So, right. So I feel like these are the easy part of the exam, but you see the outcome issues. I could remember in our first semester, I got into a very huge argument with Dr. Capitman. Yeah.
This should be a separate video.
I was like,
tell the story.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
What is the main function of the institutional review board? 2, make sure the study is valid and reliable, check for spelling and grammatical errors, protect human rights involved in research, Make sure not to duplicate studies. No, see, this way.
I think if you don't know the answer to this question, you are definitely not ready to take the exam.
Oh, bold statement, but I agree. If you don't know what the IRB does yet, guys, I'm so sorry.
That's my opinion. I mean, this is like the easiest question we've seen all day. All day, all day. So what's your answer though?
See?
All right, so I'm not even gonna write it. Okay, I'm
All
not gonna
right,
put it down.
next.
Okay, let's go.
When researchers and evaluators use a combination of different methods and strategies to examine evaluation or research questions from multiple different perspectives and vantage points, it is called what? Wow, that was a mouthful of a question. Different methods and strategies to examine evaluation or research questions in multiple different perspectives and vantage points. Oh my God. Multivariate analysis, comprehensive assessment, professional diligence, mixed methods, methodology. Comprehensive really throws you off. Multivariate or mixed methods.
What do you think?
Oh wait, evaluation or research questions from multiple different perspectives. D.
D?
It's not C.
Okay.
It's not B.
Okay.
Comprehensive, I think, is just throwing me off. Like that word, comprehensive assessment.
Right.
Like, why is that throwing me off?
And just because the questions sound so complex too, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, well, sure, comprehensive, but no. It's like just throwing me off. Dang, this just like this vocabulary, like really, really good too.
Right.
So what's the correct answer?
Yeah, I think it's D. The answer is D. Yeah, I'm looking at it too. It's D.
Yeah, because multivariate analysis is more of like quantitative data analysis as opposed to evaluation.
Right, right. So I think that should be D. You are taking up on a mixed method of methodology because you're combining different methods and strategies to do whatever. Okay, we're almost there. 19. This is another easy question.
A health education specialist collects data in which answers were either yes or no. These data are what type of data?
Right.
Ratio, Reuben.
Yeah, wrong answers.
Ratio.
Wrong answers only. Once again, if you're taking this exam next month and you do not know this question, please reschedule for November, okay?
October.
Okay? do one of those months. All right, question number 20.
In writing the research results dissemination plan, the health education specialist has defined the target audience as the healthcare consumers. Which one of the following is most appropriate dissemination option? Oh, is the most appropriate dissemination option for the results.
Okay.
So you're disseminating to, healthcare consumers. How do you want to get the information to them? Guideline database, journal publication, health related, organization endorsement, a webinar. Not the database. Most appropriate? Journal, I guess.
Yep. Journal publication. All right. So journal publication. All right. Okay. So 21.
When should the health education specialist select an evaluation design? So again, going back to like the planning and everything, when should you pick an evaluation design? After choosing the evaluation questions, and after data collection methods are identified, after choosing evaluation questions and before data collection methods, at the same time evaluation questions are chosen, and at the same time data collection methods are being defined. Probably that one. Before choosing evaluation questions and after data collection methods are identified. See.
Right. Thanks, Dr. C. Okay. Almost there. 22.
The least representative of non-probability sampling technique is which one of the following? Least and not. The least representative of non-probability sampling. It's like two negatives.
Right, right.
Okay, wait, hold on. So non-probability sampling. Do you want the most of probability sampling? Why am I getting so confused by this question? The least representative of non-probability sampling.
Right.
So non-probability sampling is a convenience sample, or
It is. It is a convenience sample. It is a snowball sample. It is a quota sample. It's actually an expert sample. However, the question says the least representative.
I know, it's like the least representative of non-probability sampling.
Right.
So what's the opposite of expert?
Amateur.
Convenience.
Oh God.
Also, what's quota?
A quota system, are you thinking you're picking on just a portion of the population sample?
That's right. What's the answer to this one?
I think it's an expert though.
You think it is?
Yeah, because for you to get to have an expert sampling, it means it's actually not very non-probable. It means you actually went all out to find it, right? You know, like the snowball, you tell someone who knows someone who tells another person.
Someone tell someone, yeah.
Right, you don't care who hears it. But in the expert sampling, you are particular, you specific about who and who is in your population sample.
So the least representative of non-probability.
Right. I think the first time I saw this question, I think I actually picked quota because I didn't particularly understand what it was.
I think just the double negative was throwing me off. The least representative of
non-probability.
Yeah.
All right. I want to believe question 23 is from the CHES section.
In program evaluation, logic models can help create the evaluation questions. The activities and output section of the model can help frame which type of evaluation questions. Context, implementation, summative, outcome. Probably implementation.
It says
activities and output sections of the model can help frame which type of evaluation.
Right.
Oh, questions. Oh, wow. Probably summative. No?
It is actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pretty tricky question, and the question is also saying what type of evaluation. We've not seen anything like context evaluation in the book. We've not seen anything like implementation evaluation, outcome evaluation. Maybe, but the most defined one is summative.
Yeah, evaluation questions.
Right.
This is why you got to read the whole question, guys.
You have to.
And did not look at the last two words, and it threw me.
You really have to. You really have to. Oh, the last one, right? Okay, last two. There we go. 24.
The health education specialist observes a problem and wants to study it using a research design that is focused on immediate solutions directly applicable to a specialist health education practice. Wow, long sentence. The type of design a health education specialist should select would be what? A case study, a casual study, experimental, or an action. Okay, Reuben, I'm gonna ask you. What in the question, what's your most important part of that question?
Okay, my most important part of the question is this: focused on immediate solution.
That was also mine. So what's focused on immediate solutions?
Action. For me.
For me too. Because
Yeah.
if you want to do it now and immediate, you
Yep.
don't want to do like a whole case study or experiment.
Right. Okay, the last but not the very least, the least but not the last. Okay, that's how this is. All right.
A health education specialist has limited resources for program evaluation, but wishes to place different variables into the intervention to see change over time, as well as eliminate any program activities that do not positively impact program objectives. Wow. The best evaluation design to use in this case is pre and post single group, interrupted time series with a single group, post test only single group, pre-test only single group. So if you're looking at wants to place different variables into the intervention. Okay, so see change over time. You have to do pre and post. Right? Change over time as well as eliminate any program activities that do not positively impact.
Right.
So it's either A or B.
A or B?
Yeah, but you don't want interrupted time series design, do you?
No, yeah, absolutely not.
So I say A.
Yep. A pre and post single group design. All right. So we're going with option A.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, Prof. Sam. I was about to try Professor Sam. My goodness. Pre and post single group design. All right, guys. Here we come to the end of in our own opinion, the most difficult part of the exam. As you can see, we still made some mistakes.
Yeah, still stumping me over here.
Right. I mean, I've seen these questions before, and reading them again now, it's like I was seeing it for the first time, actually. Honestly, it was like they came for the first time. So it was pretty enlightening, and it was good to pick your brains and see how you approach the question. I feel like one of the most important thing is, how do you approach the questions? Right? And you definitely have a different approach from what I'm using. So
yeah, see, and which I didn't realize until we talked about it right now. I think Reuben is more focused on like what the formation of the question, which I use in some of them. Like it's a tool I use some of the time, not necessarily all of the time.
right.
I'm definitely more of like a look at the answers and eliminate from there. But that's because, yeah, I don't know. That's just
Right. All right, Sam. I sincerely want to appreciate you coming on. I know you
thanks
have
for having
other
me.
things to do. So on behalf of the viewers, on behalf of Reuben, and on behalf of everyone that will probably use this in the years to come, we say a huge thank you and God bless.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Good luck, everyone, if you're studying for the exam.
Right. Right. All righty, Sam. Have a good day.
Bye.